Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome to Watch You Want. Thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Grande Taille 37mm in stainless steel. This watch is, hands down, one of the most important Jaeger-LeCoultre references. If you were to discuss the most important watches in the history of the manufacturer, names like Geophysic, Reverso, Deep Sea, Polaris would roll off the tongue, but you might not mention the Master Control, but you should. The Master Control and its predecessor, the Master Grande Taille, have defined JLC's essential chronometry initiative, watchmaking standards, and precision in the modern era. Since 1992, when JLC created the first entirely in-house precision and durability movement test, the Master Control 1000 hours test, this watch has been the flagship platform for that procedure, and in fact, this reference, the 37mm Master Grande Taille with the caliber 889 movement, was the first model to be Master Control certified. From 1992 to 2006, this was the definitive model within the JLC catalog for chronometric performance, up there with any tourbillon, up there with any grand complication, and in many respects, this watch, because of its precision pedigree, is the modern-day successor to the heritage of the famed Geophysic of 1958 and the geomatic chronometers of the 1960s. In a lot of ways, if there were a modern Geophysic, it would be the Grande Taille / Master Control of the present day. Don't be fooled by the tribute to Geophysic. The true chronometry heritage is embodied in this watch, which has paved the way for all modern JLCs, including that lately ballyhooed Geophysic tribute. So let's take a quick look at the watch on the wrist, because I actually own a JLC in this case size, 37mm. It fits very comfortably. This is the epitome of a dress watch. Formal, and yet with a black strap, silver dial, and a steel case, quite versatile. It sits absolutely flush to the wrist, barely 9mm thick. It's incredibly discreet. Its lugs don't have to be excessively short because the case is a moderate traditional size, a sensible size. So gorgeous flowing arcing lugs can actually, I'll try to show you, project off the side of the case. And that's the great thing about the watch. Because the size is moderate and traditional, elegance obtains. Other features can come to the fore, not just the sheer mass of the case. Beautifully laid out with applied numerals, the dial is fully loomed, and that includes small slivers of luminova on the hands themselves. So although it is a dress watch, it is visible at night. Gorgeous silver Dauphine hands, applied spike numerals, and a little aperture window around the date with applied numerals 1296, and yet a gorgeous heat blued hand jumps out from within that sunburst silver dial. It's a beautiful traditional presentation, and the revolution in this watch really is inside, because the presentation is absolutely traditional, absolutely true to JLC heritage and dress watch heritage. So let's talk about that movement in there. The caliber 889 is one of JLC's great, I would say, modern opus works, because it's been in everything from the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak to Royal Oak Complications to the Jules Audemars line, a whole host of IWC sports watches, and of course JLC's own. So across the spectrum of high horology, this is a very accomplished automatic winding movement, but it's also incredibly precise and can be regulated to exceptional tolerances. And the Master Control program for the Master Grande Taille and the Master Control model itself specified better than COSC accuracy. -1 second plus 6 seconds. That's the kind of potential contained within the bones of this watch. The 889 is absolutely no joke, and it has the chronometry certificate to prove it. And what is that certificate? It is an 18-karat gold medallion on the back of every watch that has passed through the Master Control process. Now, you can say whatever you want about the little chronometer printing on the front of chronometer watches that have been through COSC, but JLC actually gives you a nice swatch of real rose gold on the back of these early models to certify that the watch has been individually inspected over 6 weeks of testing and earned that Master Control mark. I prefer this by far to a display case back. Above and beyond any kind of view of an automatic winding movement, which is always half obscured by the rotor anyway, the inclusion of this beautifully stamped piece, beautifully polished and alternately, it's a sort of grained finish. This is gorgeous, this is real value, and each one has an individual master control number. I love the look of it, I love the romance of it, the warmth of that rose gold on the steel case, and it is very substantive, not just in its real value as precious metal, but in what it represents, because the master control is more than a 1,000-hour test. It is a full-featured, fully faceted test. Every manufacturer in luxury watchmaking has tried to replicate it to one extent or another, but you have to understand that in 1992, this was truly revolutionary. This wasn't 3 temperatures, 5 positions, and 14 to 15 days like the COSC. This tests winding efficiency, power reserve, the watertight integrity of a fully cased-up watch, and by the way, the entire test is performed on a cased-up watch, not a bare movement as with the COSC chronometer test. Everything from resistance to magnetism. There was a 3-week dynamic test with bidirectional winding and shocks. There still is, by the way. All JLCs today, with the exception of the caliber 101 micro movement, pass through the master control. Temperature variations that swing between 39 degrees Fahrenheit and 104 degrees plus. That's the kind of trial we're talking about here. And throughout, the watch must meet that -1 +6 limit. That's how exacting this test is. Revolutionary again because it's been copied by virtually everyone, but JLC was the first to implement a truly better than COSC timing, durability, function, and integrity test, and this watch is a trailblazer in so many ways. Today, there would not be a tribute to Geophysic if there had not been a Master Grande Taille. From 1992 to the present, this represents one of the most important modern traditions in the greatest of watchmakers of the Vallée de Jeu, Jaeger-LeCoutlre of Le Sentier, a pioneer, and this, an iconic pioneering model, the Master Grande Taille, available 100% complete from Watch You Want. See it on our website. If you want to own a true piece of the heritage of one of the great firms in high horology, this Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Grande Taille may be exactly the watch you want.